This is India at 9, broadcasting live from the CNN IBN headquarters in New Delhi with Rajeev Sardesai.
Good evening, hello and welcome to India at 9. It's a big news day this Thursday, and as always, we'll bring you the news, the newsmakers, the talking points on India at 9. The big story tonight. The Supreme Court delivers another blow to the UPA government in the 2G case, calls all license allocation irregular, cancels the 122 licenses given by ex-Telecom Minister A. Raja. There's a temporary breather for Home Minister Chidambaram, but no clean chit yet either. The trial court will now decide if the CBI should probe his role in the 2G scam. The decision must come within 2 weeks.
On the contrary, the Supreme Court clearly, and I will emphasize clearly, says that the Finance Ministry's advice was not followed by the then Minister for Telecommunications.
The political war of words intensifies. The BJP targets the Prime Minister, says Chidambaram must resign. Telecom Minister Kapil Sibal rejects the demand, says NDA's first come first served policy has been criticized by the Supreme Court. Less than 5% mobile users will be affected by the new license cancellation, assures the telecom regulator. You can simply switch to another operator. Can the UPA government shirk responsibility for the 2G mess is our big question. Arun Shauri, former telecom minister, V. Narayan Swamy, Minister of State in the PMO, Mahesh Jetpalani, Prashant Bhushan, Paranjoy Gua Thakurta, Gopal Jain, Rajeev Chandrasekhar, all will be joining us ahead on India at 9. That's not all. Let's get you our other headlines tonight. Liquor baron Ponti Chadda, said to be close to Mayawati, now denies any recovery of illegal money during income tax raids. No evidence yet of the hundreds of crores allegedly stashed away. Authorities say only 4.5 crores of jewellery and cash has been seized so far. Fourth arrest in the baby Falak case. Another woman held for forcing the teenager who dumped the baby into sex trade. Pakistan Prime Minister Gilani is summoned before the Supreme Court on Feb 13. Reports say he may be indicted for defying the court's orders to open corruption cases against President Zardari. And 79 dead as football fans clash after a match in Port Said in Egypt. Angry fans in Cairo set a stadium on fire. But our top story tonight, a big blow to the UPA government in what is being seen as a landmark judgment. The Supreme Court today scrapped all the 122 2G licenses issued during former Telecom Minister A. Raja's tenure. It also left it to the CBI trial court to decide in 2 weeks on then Finance Minister Mr. Chidambaram's alleged role. Telecom Minister Kapil Sibal led the government's defense, saying the verdict was not an indictment of the Prime Minister or Mr. Chidambaram, and that the court had criticized the NDA's first come, first served policy. The court has ordered that 2G spectrum be auctioned within 4 months. The telecom regulator will now issue guidelines for the same within 2 months. The TRAI has said subscribers have 4 months to switch to other service providers. All the action came in the Supreme Court today. Chief Legal Correspondent Ashok Bagaria with our top story.
Breather for the Home Minister P. Chidambaram. At least to the 4th of February. The Supreme Court on Thursday asked the trial court to decide on Chidambaram's role in 2G scam. But that wasn't all. There was a bigger setback when the Supreme Court ordered cancellation of 122 telecom licenses for the 2G spectrum given in 2008 during A. Raja's tenure as Telecom Minister. Scrapping all 2G licenses, the court termed its allotment illegal, called it arbitrary and unconstitutional. In a packed courtroom with the UPA watching nervously, the court said, the Telecom Minister and the officers of the Department of Telecommunications virtually gifted away the important national asset at throwaway prices. The court added, we have no doubt if the method of auction had been adopted for grant of license, which could be the only rational, transparent method for distribution of national wealth, the nation would have been enriched by many thousand crores. These two, who have given sleepless nights to the UPA, came in for praise from the court. The court said, but for the vigilance of some enlightened citizens constantly fighting for clean governance and accountability, unsuspecting citizens of the nation would never have known how scarce natural resource spared by the army had been grabbed by those who enjoy money power.
This judgment will send a strong signal to the entire country and in particular to the corporate world.
I think this is the best judgment that could be possible for the three, and I think the country can be justifiably proud of the Supreme Court.
In another related verdict, though, the Supreme Court refused to set up a special investigation team to oversee CBI investigations in the scam. The court, however, recognized the role of influential persons in the 2G scam and has sought the assistance of Central Vigilance Commissioner in monitoring CBI. In New Delhi, Ashok Bagria.
Meanwhile, Telecom Minister Kapil Sibal was quick to defend the Prime Minister and P. Chidambaram, saying they were in no way responsible for the 2G mess. It was Mr. A. Raja's responsibility. Mr. Sibal also blamed the NDA's first-come, first-served policy for the mess. Listen in.
Supreme Court judgment has brought clarity to the sector, at least on some of the issues. And therefore, to that extent, we welcome the judgment of the Supreme Court. The 122 licenses stand cancelled. And the order will not be operative till after a period of 2 or 4 months from the date of the judgment. So we will await the recommendations of TRAI and then proceed in accordance with the directions of the court. The then minister has been found to have committed irregularities in the allocation of spectrum. If the minister has committed any irregularities, then of course those issues will be considered. And that's what the Supreme Court has said. That the Prime Minister was in no way responsible, nor was the Finance Minister in any way responsible for whatever happened and whatever was done by the then Minister. And this has been endorsed by the Supreme Court. The TRA's recommendations were flawed. That's what the Supreme Court has said. That the TRAI's recommendations were flawed. And the then Minister says he followed the TRAI's recommendations. So that is in no way any indictment of the government policy. I expect the BJP today to come clean and at last say that yes, they themselves are responsible for loss of revenue because their policy itself, according to the Supreme Court, was discriminatory.
Okay, that was Kapil Sibal giving the government's defense. Now, the opposition is clearly not buying it, led by petitioner Subramaniam Swamy. They are still gunning for then Finance Minister P. Chidambaram. Listen in.
There is no reference whatsoever to the Finance Ministry being exonerated on this. In fact, all the reference there is to the CBI counsel, Mr. Venugopal, claiming it to be so, which has been reproduced. That doesn't make it a court decision. Moreover, the fact of the matter is that the Finance Minister, my prayer for a CBI inquiry had by the time I had made so much advance in the trial court had become infructuous. If supposing the Supreme Court had decided that the CBI should investigate Mr. Chidambaram, what would have happened to my court case, which in the trial court?
The UPA government, in the 2G spectrum allotment, made India a capital of crony capitalism. The grant of licenses was fraudulent. It was illegal on various counts. The only question is who all are responsible. Is only one man responsible? Or those who consented to it and those who acquiesced to it are also responsible?
It is a welcome step. Irrespective of what the central government may say, it is for the court